GIF. The GIF is great. It's going to be a massacre. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. It is the Homercast. I mean, SEC After Dark podcast. Joining me is the king of all homers, Mr. Stephen Willis, at your service.
Yes.
Jeb Beecham and Jake Thomas. I am Corey Burton. I guess we're all homers at heart here. I host the Bleav In Georgia Dawgs podcast, and apparently I'm supposed to be in Florida this week.
Homer.
Don't! Mics are hot. Yeah. So, what is up, guys?
I don't think this week any of us should be picking against our school. So
I don't have to because Alabama's not playing.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, there you go.
I need Alabama to take care of business and Ole Miss to take care of business so I can just completely make that go nuclear during Ole Miss's off week before LSU. Because that is my goal. If Ole Miss wins and Alabama wins against LSU, that week I am going to make that game go absolutely nuclear to where they basically blame me if Ole Miss loses that game. I mean, get ready for it. Get ready for it.
Homer.
Nice.
Michael Specs is in the chat.
Homer.
Thank you for loving the show. Michael's been on all of our programs on the Locked On Ole Miss channel. He followed us over to the Y'all's Conference Network. Thank you very much, Michael. Yeah.
Nice.
Attaboy, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Hey, everyone be like Mike.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me that the host of the Locked On Ole Miss podcast is a homer for Ole Miss? That's weird.
Yeah, I know. That is
so
absolutely
weird.
I want to know what they were expecting.
Way to buck the trend, buddy.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, this is the funny thing. In my DMs, I woke up Monday to somebody that said he was never listening to the show again because I have no right to second guess Lane Kiffin.
Oh, wow.
So Homer,
Really?
second guess Lane Kiffin. I don't know. I guess I'm somewhere in between.
So
How dare
hate
you,
Ole
Steve.
Miss? I don't know.
So you talk about Ole Miss, but you hate them all at the same time.
Yeah, I'm serious. It's this weird fan
Okay.
dichotomy. It's absolutely terrific.
There you
Anyway,
go.
we're all doing this in good fun. I mean, but
Yeah.
it's a
Oh,
fun
it's
time.
it's absolutely hilarious. Like, Jake, I think Jake Crane had a comment in there. So they probably are the people yelling at clouds.
Yeah, J-Boy commented on me coming into my defense.
I know.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was out of left field, too.
Yeah, seriously.
Got Cassidy joining the show
Yeah.
in the background. Yeah.
And like I
Cassidy
said,
making her first appearance.
And like I said, what was that guy's
Been a
first
while.
clue?
Yeah, seriously.
I mean,
That's the whole thing. And nobody gets that joke whenever I say that. People call me a homer, and I said, what were they expecting from the Locked On Ole Miss podcast? And I say that, and there's people that just do not get what I'm saying there.
I mean, oh my God.
And whenever it comes to that, I do not care about your school. I'm talking about Ole Miss. That's why people are listening to the show.
Yeah, tune into the Locked On Ole Miss podcast for all your information on Auburn.
Yeah.
24 hours of Arkansas talk.
We will spend hours on the Carolina Panthers. Wait.
We will talk all Detroit Red Wings all the time on the Locked On Ole Miss podcast.
Wait. What? It's so odd.
Yes. Michael is down on Ole Miss after this past weekend. He says, I am much more upbeat. And yes, I'm much more upbeat than just about everybody. But that doesn't mean I'm absolutely blind. Yeah.
Don't be down on the Rebs. They're still good.
You lose a football game. It happens.
LSU played the game of their freaking lives, man. Like, Jaden Daniels went off.
Mm-hmm.
Finally.
And
Alabama should be nervous.
Alabama
and Michael, I mean, Ole Miss is in the same predicament Alabama is. Just win out and you're in. I mean, that's all you got to do. Just win out.
Yeah.
Nothing changes.
Didn't ruin anything.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nothing changes. Except your margin of error.
You know,
shrank by a little bit.
Before we move on and start talking about games, can we talk about what Lane Kiffin did today?
Hilarious.
Love it.
Yeah, they asked him on the SEC teleconference for those that are paying attention to what's going on or are not paying attention. They asked him on that teleconference, and he said, hey, we wanted to keep DJ Durkin, but A&M outbid us, which that school is known to do. And that is a shot essentially about NIL and the stuff that went on in the spring and in the summer and that storyline. Lane Kiffin is feeling this game. Now, it's at the point where Lane Kiffin needs to win this game because at this point, Lane Kiffin is picking a fight. That's what he's doing. He is trying to poke the bear and get them riled up to go. I think he is fairly confident about this weekend.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, Jimbo just suspended 4 of his dudes for enjoying a little bit of the devil's lettuce in the locker room.
Oh.
And I know you're going to get it stuck in my head again. It just went out. Because I got high.
He used to perform in Oxford all the time, by the way.
I was going to go to class. Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I think he came to Athens.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
How you doing? Keep it moving. All right. So, yeah, no, A&M just – it's just going downhill quickly, rapidly.
I mean, what did anybody expect? Honestly, because
I mean, that bad.
Well, I mean, you think about it. What has Jimbo done besides that 1 year where he had Jameis Winston? They won a national championship. He's gone 8-4, 9-3 every single year. He's just an average coach.
Certainly, giving him that huge contract was a huge mistake. And
they're feeling that. They extended it.
Oh, $95 million buyout.
They're sitting there rummaging through the couch cushions, trying to find enough money to let him go.
Yeah.
We got another Yale meeting coming up.
Oh my God!
And Michael, there's no truth to that. Lane Kiffin's not going to Auburn.
First time, long time, Paul. Yeah, Lane is not.
He's not going to Auburn. Hugh Freeze is going to Auburn.
Why would Lane leave a place like Ole Miss for Auburn, a worse situation?
Yeah.
Well, in the same conference.
Never mind.
In the same conference, though, Jeb.
Well, I have less faith in Lane than most of y'all will, and I still don't believe that'll happen.
The USC situation was different. He's a West Coast kid. He's a West Coast kid. Came in under Pete Carroll. Was involved in all that stuff, that the glitz and glamour type practices that USC had. He got wrapped up in that culture. Decided that was his dream job, and then got tarmacked later. So, and he was way less mature.
I still say Cassidy's headphones are Hello Kitty.
Yeah.
Well, it's a better background than the Alabama elephant, so I approve.
Now it says Alla.
Yeah, it does.
I
would never leave anywhere to go to Auburn. Yes, that's true. Let's big draw to Auburn when they have a track record of firing first and asking questions later.
That's a good point.
Well, I mean, okay, trying to play devil's advocate, I don't believe he's going to move either. But would he feel like he could win better at Auburn, get better players, win faster?
he's already doing that at Ole Miss.
Yeah,
he's doing very well.
Same division, like it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, no, I agree, it doesn't make sense. But
and remember, Ole Miss is built for 2023. This year was all about maximizing the quarterback and doing the best you can. This team's built for next year.
But he's also already complained about the fans. Have they been showing up to help him out?
That's a Saban game. That's not a real thing. That everybody's so scared that Lane's going to leave. Just Lane saying that, all of a sudden you look at the crowd. We've had nothing but sellouts since he did that.
That's what I was wondering. Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
that's just him playing the game.
Yeah, at least them responding is good.
Lane is in
to win the game, don't you?
Lane. The only school in Alabama that Lane would go to is obviously South Alabama. Jaguars. Yeah, obviously. So,
Michael Specs said Becky's mascot picks are better than my research picks.
That's good.
It's tried and true, right, Becky?
John,
can
I eat some crow, John? Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Do you put hot sauce on your crow?
John, I've seen you in 2 weeks. I've seen 2 weeks, John.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got an off week. He gets to sit back and enjoy this.
John, I won't see you for another 6 years.
Oh.
Yes,
Personally,
well, you don't know that because when Texas and Oklahoma comes in, everything's going to change.
That's a good point.
Okay,
That's true.
Okay, in 4 years. Okay, I won't see you in 4 years. Sorry.
personally, we wouldn't mind seeing you again. We enjoyed it, but whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, kidding.
Oh. Okay.
You know what though?
It was just a
Hey,
good day. It was a good day.
before we move on, I want to congratulate Auburn for somehow losing the bye week.
Yeah, what's that all about? Have you seen that story? I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm not here to determine truth or not. I'm not a jury, but the headline certainly is damning where it's alleged that Brian Harsin is telling people that instead of redshirting, they just need to leave.
So he's encouraging them to transfer.
Yeah, and they are because
Or
he's
at
not
least
redshirt.
threatening. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that puts a little bit more truth on the fact that his goose is already cooked.
Oh yeah, he's done. Absolutely, but Brian Harsin, he is going to blow this thing up on his way out the door.
Scorched earth, baby. On his way back to Boise.
Goodness, whoever takes the Auburn job is going to have another year of rebuilding on their hands to repair what is being done right now.
Yeah.
You said,
And this is all because the boosters pulled the crap they pulled in January.
Yeah. You got to get the boosters out of Auburn if you're going to be successful. I'm just telling you.
which
I know they need money, but man, boosters just ruin things all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, I'm gone. Good luck with this dirt pile that I left you.
Yeah, seriously.
It's just really.
And
I think honestly, I think Harsin can actually coach, just not in the SEC. He was great at Boise.
just not at Auburn. I think Brian Harsin would be fantastic at a place like Mississippi State.
I think so too.
I think he'd be great at the ACC too. Like
I think Brian Harsin at Texas A&M would be decent.
No, he would get wrapped up in that culture. I don't wish that upon anybody.
See,
Wes Avent says Nebraska or Auburn. If you want a gig, what would you do?
Stay unemployed.
I would stay where I am.
Yeah.
Be an assistant somewhere else.
The best situation out of those two might be Nebraska, but Nebraska doesn't have the recruiting ties that Auburn does. But Nebraska has the easier division.
I would choose Nebraska in that scenario, honestly, because their boosters aren't as crazy. I mean,
right?
Well, that we know of. There's a chance that Nebraska's batshit.
Well, the fact that we know that Auburn is batshit and we're not sure if Nebraska's batshit is just answers the question for you right there. We don't know, so therefore there's not any sort of public knowledge. I mean, they could be completely insane, and Auburn could be even worse than what we hear. But that's the fact that gives Nebraska the leg up in that situation.
Yeah, I think Auburn should.
I would
choose
choose Nebraska.
Central Florida. The guy at Central Florida would be a great fit at Auburn.
Yeah, I've heard he's pretty good.
Yeah. What was his name again?
Gus Malzahn.
Mazzoni? Gus Mazzoni? No.
I think he would be perfect at Auburn.
I do too. Yeah.
I feel like he's somebody that could go in and just completely derail Saban.
Yeah. He's probably would be able to beat Saban more than any other SEC coach.
He might be for three times.
I get that feeling. I get that feeling. I get those vibes.
You know what though?
And have a 9-3 season every year.
Yeah. Nick Saban has wrecked Auburn's program just by existing, not even trying to do it. Has wrecked their program worse by them doing themselves than if he actually tried to do it. Him beating them drives him so crazy to try and keep up with the Joneses. They are starting the coach cycle, the head coach cycle of just changing every other year, and you're going to get into system problems. You're going to get into all kinds of problems. Alabama, without even trying, has completely destroyed Auburn's football program.
You're welcome.
I love it. It's just the utter meltdowns that they have, man. It's ridiculous. Like I think honestly, Hugh Freeze would be a perfect fit for a multitude of reasons, not just football. Because my opinion on Hugh Freeze is he's a phony. Oh.
Got some Mr. Commodore.
Anchor down.
Anchor down.
Anchor down.
Vandy pissed down their legs this weekend, or they should have won that game.
They did.
Attaboy Coach 30. Do you guys know who Coach 30 is?
Yeah, I've seen him on Twitter.
The guy. God, the guy's hilarious. He got y'all pretty good, Steve.
Yeah, I imagine he did. I haven't seen that, but yeah, I knew he would.
He really got. Now my favorite still is when he got Miami. That's still my favorite one, but he got Alabama pretty good too. Anchor down, Jeb.
I don't know why.
Please, Michael.
This thing hates my internet connection here, but this is the last weekend in Tennessee. I'll be in Florida next week, so hopefully we won't have that problem anymore.
We should go to Disney next Friday.
It's fine with me.
Okay.
I don't know who the Facebook user is, but I don't know if it's true.
Wes Abbott.
But does Freed's daughter go to Auburn right now? I don't know if that's true or not.
It might. I don't know which daughter it is. Was that Reagan? Maybe. I don't know about that. But it is a potential that they would fit into. Hugh Freeze and that family would fit in Auburn. Just period.
Yep.
Yeah, it ain't. It's just Bill Bryan now. He don't deserve the O. That is great.
He lost the O.
It's no O.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like when they were making fun of Iowa. They took the O out of Iowa.
Oh my goodness! I saw something on Twitter. There's like the greatest scary movies to watch for Halloween, whatever, and they had a top 5 list, and they were like Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. The third one was Iowa versus Northwestern 2022.
Yeah.
I think I saw that.
I think the over-under on that game was like 27.
Yeah, it was great.
No, so I did Illegal Motion last night, and one of our co-hosts, Josh, he's a big time Iowa fan. He's just in absolute misery right now, and we picked that game in our spread formations because the over under was 37.
37 in that game.
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's
and
gone
Iowa,
up. I think it started at like 32. It's gone up. It's been bet up.
And Iowa's favored by 11 as of last night.
Under.
Like that's easy
beat
money on
Nebraska.
Northwestern.
Northwestern beat Nebraska and just kind of whooped them.
Yeah.
Like Iowa can't score 11 points. Period. Their defense scores all their points. So So listen to this. Iowa. This is Big Ten After Dark. But Iowa's offense got outscored by every unit that Ohio State put out there. Even the special teams unit. The special teams unit, the defense, and the offense. Like Ohio State's entire team outscored.
Iowa's total offense at this point, I think they're averaging like 190 total yards a game.
It's amazing. And it should be bad. It's almost kind of fascinating to watch.
Yeah.
Brian Ferentz makes Bill O'Brien look like Josh Heupel.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Man. Yeah, I do like the Bill O'Brien running for 27 yards against Mississippi State.
Yeah, Jake.
Yeah.
That's problematic.
Yeah, that's not good. And he still beat the hell out of him, but that's just not.
Yeah.
Something's wrong there.
We was at that game, and it was kind of a weird game all around because the second half, or especially the third quarter, Bryce was overthrowing people and wasn't his best either. So it was just weird, not even running the ball hardly at all. And we did change centers again, which we feel like Seth McLaughlin's a lot better in the run game than Dalcourt is. So hopefully they get that straightened out and put Seth back in at center during this bye week and then leading up to the LSU game.
Yeah. Hey, not to be ADD radio here, but one last question. I'm gonna answer Wes's question before it goes away, and I forget about it because my ADD's blazing usually. Targeting calls has changed the direction of college football today. It seems like offensive players have learned to lower their heads to draw the penalty. Am I crazy here? And to answer that question, it's a valid point, but when you're in the heat of the moment, you're not thinking about drawing a targeting penalty. You're just thinking about running over the person. So your center of gravity and your target lowers. And so in a lot of cases, that just creates that helmet to helmet. And I think the replay needs to do a better job of determining that he wasn't trying to hit head to head, even though their helmets did collide. It wasn't a direct shot on the helmet, and it was not intended for that. So I think the replay should take care of some of that stuff that it's not taken care of, just because we still, to this day, there's two things that referees don't know what the hell they're doing on, and it's targeting and roughing the passer. So, and pass interference, really, if you want to get technical. But that's just a replay thing. I don't think they're. I mean, maybe once in a while you might have somebody do that, but it's not like pass interference where they're baiting calls.
Is
Jeb
Jeb
is fine off,
frozen?
isn't it? Yeah.
Can you hear me? Because I can hear you fine.
you.
I just can't see anything.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I don't know. I hear everything.
it looks like
And I agree with you, especially on that, what you were talking about, because I do feel like a lot of those calls are just kind of incidental. Like, what's the defensive player supposed to do? He's not trying to do that. It just sort of happens. And I don't think it should be called just because their heads collide.
yeah.
It needs to be something intentional. So I mean, I heard the whole thing and I agree with it completely, but I'm not seeing anything anymore.
How's that spider on your ceiling? Is it coming to attack you?
You're going to be looking up. All right.
The offense is causing targeting. Yeah, I think they should call it on the offense a little more sometimes.
Yeah, they should.
Oh, there we go.
I liked him staring at the spider personally.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was creeping me
Boy.
out.
What are y'all talking about?
Oh, Mr. Commodore's up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I can't say anything. So,
Yeah.
including the chat anymore. So,
Yeah. So Jeb, your picture's frozen. And you're like staring at the ceiling.
Wait. So we got two voices of God today.
There he is.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back now.
oh, yeah. I'll say. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the internet here, but it's just going in and out. And I have no idea why. So,
Well,
I apologize if I drop off anymore.
By the way, on my screen, I've got actual bars now, so I can actually see y'all's signal. And for the first part of the show, you were in the red with one bar, and now all of a sudden you're three. So everybody has 3 bars now. So
Well, all right then.
All right.
Maybe it'll stop.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Good.
Can you hear me now? Good. So, anything else from last week that we want to talk about game wise? Put the yellow jacket back up.
Nice.
They're trying to take the football.
No,
out
wait.
of football.
What was the question?
Yeah, I'm a rambler wreck from
that's
Georgia Tech. That's the best. That's the best one. That's just because it's such a ridiculous picture.
I have so much fun with these pictures, and this is all Becky all the time. It was her that got me to do this. It's so funny. I get such a power trip by being able to do this. So
There you go. Is that you, Dion?
It is.
Dion to Georgia Tech.
It ain't gonna happen.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. For some reason, I don't. I mean, I think it'd be a perfect fit, but I just don't think it'll happen. I think they like the guy they have now, Brent Key. I think they like him.
Yeah, but that's going to change whenever they lose a couple more games.
And they're going to. They're going to lose to Georgia for sure.
Because without Sims at quarterback, and this is ACC after dark, Georgia Tech's not winning a football game. They're basically Iowa with better looking uniforms.
Wow.
That's debatable.
I agree, Michael. This is the best show on Wednesday night, hands down.
That's
And
right.
by-
Number one in our
and-
time slot.
And by the way, we have just created a new Twitter, SEC After Dark. So go follow it.
Is it SEC underscore after underscore dark? Is that what it is?
Correct. That's it. Yeah.
Cassidy Thomas, her of the Hello Kitty headphones behind there.
There she is, back
She
there,
is
our social media manager.
She is going to be the social media person.
Yep.
All right.
And she's eating popcorn right now, so on camera.
She got her popcorn ready.
Yeah.
So she got it ready. Yes.
Yeah, she got it ready. So
I don't know. I think he's going to stay I think he's going to stay one more year, at least at Jackson.
do you think he's waiting for Florida State to open up?
I don't know if Deion would get that job.
He might not.
He's waiting on something bigger, and I don't think Georgia Tech has the money to pay him.
I don't know. It's a good stepping stone, though.
I'm just going to say this, and if you want Deion Sanders to get somewhere and just absolutely be a power and just out-recruit everybody and take everything over, put him as the head coach at Miami.
Oh.
He would do well at Miami.
Speaking of Miami, ACC After Dark, did you see the Duke player snap the U over his knee?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
After a touchdown. Oh, yeah.
It looks like you're serving
time. That is great.
I love that.
In the jail cell. Bob in the jail cell.
I am in a remote location, but I said this last week I'll be back in my house next week.
No wonder his internet's going out. The Rutherford County Detention Center doesn't have reliable internet, apparently.
Yeah, seriously.
I don't know. I just for some reason I just don't think. I mean, Georgia Tech's in such a wreck. I just don't think they're in a place where they can hire somebody like Deion. It is rambling. I think maybe. I mean, if A&M gets rid of, they're going to make a run at him, but I just don't think he goes there. I don't know. Like if Texas keeps losing, maybe they move on from Sark.
Every coach that was hired in that COVID year, coaching hire, whenever they decide to fire a coach and did that, everybody except for Shane Beamer has been a crash and burn. And Shane Beamer, I think South Carolina just lucked out on him.
Do you think Matt? I mean, I could see this scenario probably more than Georgia Tech, but like Mac Brown retiring and him taking over North Carolina, which is, the Jordan brand. It has a little bit more pizzazz to it and a little bit more pedigree in a program in the ACC. I could see that too. Also, maybe
I don't know if Deion go to North Carolina, because this is my impression of North Carolina. This is ACC After Dark. That's a place where stuffy coaches go. Not something new. That's the reason they hired Mac Brown. They want a guy that's really buttoned up and look, this is the way we do North Carolina things and everything. And basically they
hired Larry Fedora.
Yeah, but Larry Fedora is kind of a buttoned up guy. He's not somebody that's going to make waves about doing all this. They wouldn't hire a Jeff Collins. They would not hire.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would, but that mistake.
Yeah, they're
the type of program.
They're the type of program that would hire John Sumrall at Troy. Very buttoned up, very pro style. Phil Longo's their offensive coordinator right now. It's just a weird place. Whenever North Carolina comes to the SEC before the next TV contract, we'll be able to have that conversation, because it's going to be North Carolina, like Virginia, Clemson, and Florida State. They're going to be in the SEC by 2035.
I would just be surprised, because, I mean, he doesn't need the money, but him walking in that Georgia Tech program with it being the way it is, the shape that it's in.
But look where he is now.
Yeah, so why? I mean, he doesn't need the money.
He doesn't need the money, but
I think he enjoys where he's at, though. Honestly, I think he truly enjoys where he's at.
He got the number one college football player, high school player in the country to go to Jackson State.
I was going to say, but going from Jackson State to a major Power 5 player is going to be tough too. Maybe Georgia Tech is more of a stepping stone.
I don't know. I would just be surprised if it happens. Past the hot sauce and past the crow, I'll gladly chow down on it. But I
Corey don't want that. He's afraid that Joe Tech's going to get fired for it.
No shit, I don't want it. Sorry.
all three of y'all should not want this.
Mm-hmm.
If that happens, that would hurt Alabama, that would hurt Tennessee, and that would hurt Georgia.
He's going to lock down Atlanta.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many kids
point.
in Georgia, though. Like, we could honestly both have top classes, and it would be fine. It would hurt the out-of-state programs more than Georgia because there's 200 athletes there's 200 Division I athletes in the state of Georgia, so we can't sign them all.
Yeah, but you go from signing 7 of the top 10 to signing 4. And you have to supplement that by those other 3 players are in the next 10, or they're out-of-state guys. So it changes a little bit.
Which we do well out of state.
Yeah, I got into an argument with Stacey whenever we first started doing this because I'm all for expanding the playoff. Jake remembers this conversation. Mm-hmm. I'm all about it. And the reason I'm all about it is because there's 6 teams in the country that can recruit to the playoff right now. Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, and then there's some like Oklahoma, LSU. Those guys can actually recruit to it. And because of that, players end up going there. So for college sports to develop some parity and to break that up, you need to get some of these top players going to other schools. And the way you can do that is by breaking up that playoff thing to where 20 teams can recruit to it instead of 6. And then with NIL, I think it's going to create a lot more parity in college football.
Great. Yeah. Expand the field. I got you.
Yeah.
And Michael, to your comment, it's not Deion's ability to recruit to Atlanta. It's his want to. Like maybe he doesn't want to. It doesn't strike me that he just really wants to up and leave just to leave.
He's kind of Mr. Atlanta. Although he does live outside Dallas. I think if like SMU
kill it. He would kill it in Atlanta. I know that for a fact. But
or even like SMU, he would also kill it at SMU.
Or Houston.
Oh man. And Houston is probably a likely one coming up shortly too.
Or Stanford, because he played in San Francisco for a year. Or Maryland, because he played for the Ravens.
No, that's the end of his year.
No. I'm just kidding. I'm just talking stuff now at this point. But I don't know.
Hey,
I mean,
Michael.
I would just be surprised if he went there.
Michael is down. He's down in the dumps right now.
Yeah.
I'm having to do some comment section therapy after every show this week on Michael. I mean,
hey, Michael. I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. It's okay, Michael. Ole Miss is still good. They just they got to figure out how to stop a running quarterback. That's all. And Death Valley's a hard place to play. It really is. When those fans get going in a rivalry game like this, it's a tough place to play.
Yeah, it was a young team, and that snowballed in the fourth quarter on Ole Miss. It just did.
They were in control of that game in the most of the first half.
You could say
going down.
You're right.
They were going down to take the lead back. They were on like the 17-yard line with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Mm-hmm. Then he threw that interception, and everything went sideways.
Hit that quicksand. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it happens. It's the SEC.
It's a young team. Yeah, it's a young team, and that was their first road game, real road game. It's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
This team's going to go 9-3 and end up in the Citrus Bowl. And everybody before the season would have taken that.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean,
if they end up down in Tampa, Orlando, are you going to go?
If they go to Orlando, I'm going to do the bowl practice stuff. I'm probably going to watch the game on TV because honestly, it's better to watch the game on TV. It's a better experience because I don't need to do the press conference. Yeah, the press conference and all that I don't need to do, but I might go there for practices and practice week and all that.
Cool.
Maybe Steve is taking this Homer comment to heart here by not going to the game.
Yeah,
Michael, man, come on. They're not as bad as you're making them out to be.
Like I said, it's been some serious therapy in the comment section over the last couple of weeks.
Man.
Or last couple of days. Okay, let's discuss Malik Heath. He's proving Leach's scheme is just that. His draft stop is exploding. Yeah, Malik Heath he made the right move. Malik Heath probably should have went to Ole Miss out of high school. The Mike Leach thing doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work for what he wanted to do. How about that? He wasn't.
But it wasn't. But he's talented enough. I think he would have surfaced at a pro day or something, and he would have made it.
Yeah. The Mike Leach, what they're lacking at Mississippi State is that Wes Welker type, Danny Amendola type slot receiver. That's what they need. They need to get into mesh concepts, find that guy, and exploit it. People not playing man coverage against that team because Mike Leach will kill man coverage. Just absolutely kill man coverage.
Now he just needs a zone monster to combat that, which he doesn't have.
Yeah, he doesn't have that or the slot mesh guy.
And apparently they're scared of the Alabama jersey. So, all right, let's talk some games. Let's talk some games for next week or this week, whatever they're.
It's cocktail party time, right?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
And for the first time in a long time, this one is not that relevant in Georgia's favor. Usually it's the other way around. It's not that relevant in Florida's favor. Oh, how the tables have turned.
Oh.
Yeah.
Florida comes limping into this game badly. They're in dire need of something good to happen under Billy Napier, which I think a lot of people are panicking on Billy Napier. I think he's going to be an incredible coach. He just, as we've said from day one, the pile of rubbish that he inherited was not good. And he is doing his best to make at least he's made a couple helpings of chicken salad out of. Well, we've already broken the clean rating, so he's making a few helpings of chicken salad out of that chicken shit, and which is incredible to begin with. But the fact of the matter is, Anthony Richardson is still wildly inconsistent. This team struggles on defense against the pass. They struggle on defense against the run. They can't protect all that well. They run the ball decent, and occasionally they'll have some good drives and move it down the field. I mean, it's just what they are. And you call me Homer all you want to, but that's just what Florida is. Homer. And Homer. Yeah, I'm Homer Simpson here. But and Georgia's dialed in again. They're dialed in again. Stetson is back to what Stetson was against Oregon and South Carolina. He's dialed in, making good passes. He's taking advantage now of teams keying in on Brock Bowers, which we knew that was going to happen. So, Georgia's favored by 22.5. I'll give you my official pick later, but I just think, this Georgia team's on a mission. They've got a chip on their shoulder, and a lot of it's going to depend on the health of some of the key guys like Jalen Carter and A.D. Mitchell, which I think Jalen Carter's in danger of being out for the rest of the season. I think A.D. Mitchell is due back, so that's a big breath of fresh air for the offense.
Hey, before it gets off the screen, Casey Wallace said, "Hey, Jake, I need your take on the situation down on the Plains."
Hit that rewind button, Casey.
So Casey is actually my nephew, and he's an Auburn fan. I don't know what I did wrong raising him, but anyway. No. But no, I love him. But anyway, Casey, it's a mess right now. But I mean, you still got Tank Bisbee. I mean, that's about your only bright spot. I mean, that's
Robbie
all
Ashford
I can really
got better
say.
Last week.
Robbie and he's coming off a bye week, so he's
got some promise.
Yeah,
I mean, Harson's done a good job with Ashford.
He has.
I mean, that tells you alone right there that he's a good coach. He's in FU mode right now.
I mean, I think he realized that TJ Finley wasn't that guy, which we knew he wasn't.
You're not that guy.
No.
You're not that guy, pal.
You're not that guy, pal.
He's a good stunt driver, apparently. If you saw the move he hit on the, if you saw the move he hit on his scooter in the summer, he's a pretty good stunt driver.
Oh man, Stacey.
Stacey.
That's good.
Jake, you got dunked on.
Yeah,
straight for the throat.
Why is Jake crying? Because he just got dunked on.
If you want some more of that dynamic that's going on between Stacey and Jake, you can turn on to them on the Tide Talk Live channel on YouTube for their show. A little back and forth about the Alabama Crimson Tide and Bill Bryan, because as we found out tonight, there's no O there.
And we're homered as well, so yeah.
If Jake was a real podcast host, he would. They would talk about Kentucky on the Tide Talk Live podcast.
Right? Yeah.
The Locked On Ole Miss podcast, your source for the Colorado Avalanche.
Let's stop.
No,
God. No,
All right, Jeb, are you worried about Kentucky?
I don't know about worried about. I think it's going to be a closer game than a lot of people were saying. I honestly, the way I look at that game is the same way as how it played out last year. I think Kentucky is going to have long, sustained drives and try and keep Tennessee off the field, which they're decent at, so they may actually be able to do it. The problem is, can they finish all those drives with scores? Because they're going to have to. Because when they give the ball to Tennessee, I feel like it's going to take about 45 seconds for Tennessee to score on average. Because they have no pass rush, and if you let Hendon Hooker just stand back there, he's going to kill them. So no, I don't think they can stop Tennessee from scoring enough.
See the confidence radiating off Jeb right now.
Yeah.
And I'm fairly confident I'm the only person on here that can say he's not a homer, but Tennessee by 50.
Yeah,
okay,
homer.
Tennessee by 100.
By 100. No,
I got a question. Who would win in a fight, Heupel or God?
Yeah.
Trick question. Heupel is God.
You can see the angelic glow around Jeb right now.
Oh yeah,
so confident.
Wow. Yeah, it's like every time Jeb speaks, it's like, oh.
It's like the Last Dragon. He's got that glow.
I warned y'all I was going to be insufferable. I'm trying to hold it in.
Oh yeah, Bo Nix is. We got to talk about Oregon for a second. Bo Nix is going
Pac-12 after or Pac-10. What is it? I forget what it is. No.
I think it's going to be Pac. It's going to be Pac-6 by the end of the. It's going to be
Pac disbanded, but whatever. Okay.
Pac 0. But Bo Nix is balling since that Georgia game.
Yeah, who called that?
He is freaking balling, dude. And you know Auburn fans are like, really?
do you know who is just smug sitting back and talking? I remember this because whenever this episode of his pod popped up, I just sat back and snickered and laughed. It's like, whoever do that. But Jake Crane did a podcast as the J-Boy Show where he did Bo Nix as a dark horse Heisman contender before his Auburn season. Yeah. And it was like, oh, come on, Jake. You're doing the Auburn thing right now. We get that. But then he goes out to Oregon and is like, it works.
And now he's a dark horse
head.
Yeah.
Too bad he's not going to beat Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, and Hendon Hooker. No. Those are the three in the front row in New York.
The hilarious thing, think about this. In 9 months, there's going to be an uptick of babies that are named Hooker.
Maybe Hendon. Well, hopefully they go with the first name.
No, Jeb, it's Tennessee fans. It's Hooker.
Yeah.
Hooker, Hook. Yeah, no, definitely Hooker.
Well, I went to Tennessee, and I can tell you they didn't have enough hookers, so I'm okay with that.
Oh, my God.
Did you Google that?
No.
Please
Jeb, you know your sister has an earpiece.
Tennessee hookers.
And your mother's phone number.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I'm actually in my mother's house.
Jeb, do they let you Google that stuff in the detention center there?
I haven't used my work computer, so I'm Googling nothing.
That's good.
I'm doing all this.
Good idea.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
Although I do want to point out, John over here, I guess this way. John said that after Jeb's
you had it right the first time.
after Tennessee gets the crap kicked out of him. Honestly, weird thing that's going to happen when Georgia beats Tennessee is I'm going to become a Georgia fan because I'll need Georgia to win out so that Tennessee has one loss and is to the top team in the SEC and the number one team in the nation. Maybe we can still get in the playoffs. So that's going to be the weird thing is I might start rooting for Georgia.
Attaboy, Jeb. Come on over.
I want to address this real quick. And
Okay.
I know there is a 0.0001%
You got another
chance
dog
this
back
happens
there behind Jake.
because the media hates the SEC.
Yeah.
So, but say Tennessee
They
wins
hate us
out and
'cause
they
they
beat
ain't us.
Georgia. They beat Georgia. Alabama wins out. They beat Tennessee in the SEC championship game. You have 3 of the top 5 teams with 1 loss in the SEC. Could you see 3 teams in the college
No.
football playoff?
Nope.
I don't think it'll
Not a
happen
chance.
either. But if
Georgia,
they
in,
go
that, in,
by
that,
the
in that
4th,
scenario, Georgia is in the Sugar Bowl.
right?
But-
But
Playing against
But what if they
my-
get help? What if TCU
Right.
and Clemson lose a game?
Oh, it
Right.
doesn't matter.
Michigan loses another game besides Ohio State.
Michigan has got
They will-
Michigan's got to lose a
They
second
will-
game.
The
Yeah.
final rankings, they will TCU and Baylor 2014 the shit out of it.
All right.
You're going to see somebody jump up from 7th to 4th. It's like, how did that happen? And
But here's my thing.
It'll be like Tulane.
you're
They'll put
right.
Tulane in or something.
They are supposed to put the 4 best teams in the college football playoff.
Ooh,
I
I
mean-
like the hat, Cassidy.
So, are you telling me that either Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee gets beat on a neutral field by TCU, by Oregon, by Michigan, Clemson in this situation?
Not a chance.
I don't.
No,
Exactly.
the 3 best teams in the 3 of the 4 best teams in the country are in the Southeastern Conference.
Exactly.
And they're represented by us right here.
Exactly.
And
Sorry, Steve.
the 4th team is Ohio State. Ohio State is
Yeah.
nasty, by the way.
But they will not put 3 teams in from the SEC. No way,
not
no
even
how.
a little bit.
They won't.
No way in hell.
It
Because, and here's the other reason they don't want to do it, because they want everybody to raise heck so they can get the 12 team and build the hype for the 12 team
Twitter.
playoff, because this is never going to happen again. It'll be a similar situation to Auburn. Was it 2004?
Yeah.
To where they're just watching Oklahoma and USC play a horrible football game, and Auburn is like in the Sugar Bowl, like just down in the dirt.
they're just beating the tar out of Virginia Tech. I remember that.
Yeah.
I mean,
And-
just
And I think if it's still West on the Facebook side, once the 12 teams gets implemented, all 4 of us here will be represented along with probably LSU if things continue as they are moving forward.
yeah, half the playoff field will be the SEC.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just about every year. Just about every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Just so you know. It's yeah.
The
just so you know.
SEC should have fun, and they should figure out a way to do semifinals for the SEC championship game.
But
That'd be
hear this out. Hear this out. Could there just be an SEC Big Ten showdown in the playoff if they let Michigan and Ohio State in, and then 2 SEC teams? Is that possible? You
Yeah,
get
I
either
mean, both those teams will be, one of them will be a 1-loss team, so it's possible.
Right.
you get the loser of the SEC championship, and then you get obviously Michigan, who would be in that runner-up in their own division. They should
Probably
just
need TCU to lose. But
They should just go ahead and real quick flip Michigan over to the Big Ten West so that Ohio State and Michigan can play each other again in the championship game.
yeah.
Yeah. And I like John's comment.
I just hate that the Golden Gophers are dropping off. I
I
was rowing the
don't.
boat.
Yeah. So yeah, some of the Tennessee fans I work with are luckily pretty cool, but there's some obnoxious ones out there. But there's some obnoxious Georgia fans too. I can't lie to you on that one.
every fan base has them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. So
Before we get
Cass,
to picks,
love
y'all
to
want to
have
talk about Ole Miss and A&M a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Lane's picking a fight. A&M suspended 4 players.
They have the same
still-
defense. Both are terrible against the run right now.
BJ Durkin, they got
Yeah.
outbid for. I
Yeah.
don't think A&M has much of a chance. I mean, honestly, I would be surprised if Ole Miss didn't dominate this game.
Yeah, it's a situation. It's a football game. In a football game, you can always lose a football game. There's some things. So whenever you
Yeah.
make a pick, the best you can hit is like 85% sure, because if you're going to be realistic about it and not a homer, you realize that the other team they're scholarship athletes, they're coaches as well. But the way I look at it, both teams' run defense has been terrible this year, especially lately. A&M has Devin Achane. That's it. Ole Miss has Zach Evans and Quinshon Judkins. And that tells me they can get 50 carries of high-quality carries against a bad run defense. And A&M can get 25 carries. And in between that, A&M's going to have to figure out how to get Haynes King available. And they have problems offensively. And this is one of those games.
They won't.
I don't. If Ole Miss does this, now A&M could come out with their hair on fire. I'm not saying they can't. Because this is probably a top 5 most talented roster in college football. They just don't have a quarterback.
Right.
And I think that's going to be their undoing, personally.
I think they're slowly quitting on Jimbo, too. I think that's a factor.
Yeah. They're smoking weed in the locker room.
Yeah, I mean they're just getting reckless with all this stuff. You can see it on the field a little bit. I mean they just you watch that South Carolina game, they just lost interest.
Do y'all want a rumor?
Yeah,
sure.
There's a rumor that this coach at this weed thing from A&M is something just to cover up and to throw the scent off of what is actually happening. And what is actually happening is a player that is unhappy at A&M is recruiting people to go into the transfer portal in December with him.
I heard that.
I did hear that.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
it's
did
just
you
a
see
rumor.
that?
Nobody is going to confirm that at all. But I mean, it's out there.
It is out there. It is a rumor. Wouldn't be shocked. Just like the Florida player that was wearing the Alabama gear during the bye week.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
On Instagram.
Yeah, it's like people are just weird.
No. I have another question. I was told that A&M has like the number 1 pocket passer sitting on the sidelines that they got in like last year's class.
Connor Weigman, he's a 5-star, number 1 quarterback in Texas. He's going to be a good player.
Why is he not playing?
He's not a good player now.
Oh, okay.
Is it worth getting him reps? I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
Is he that much worse than Haynes King?
No, let's be real.
God.
Have y'all seen Jimbo's play sheets on the sideline?
Yes.
All 37 of them, yes.
All 37 play sheets. It's that thick on the sideline. Whoever the starting quarterback is, I think I interviewed Joey Eichels. I forgot his last name. I apologize, Joey. He's the Locked On Aggies guy for Locked On Ole Miss. It's going to be on tomorrow morning show. And he said that Jimbo likes to put his quarterbacks to where they play in hard mode. So he makes it intentionally difficult. And right now, Haynes King's not really getting that done. But Connor Weigman, he's going to be there. And he has the stuff that Jimbo wants. He would be a Christian Ponder, Jameis Winston type college player. But he's not there yet. So if he played in the game, which he did against South Carolina, he would make plays and they would probably move the ball, but he would get fooled 2 or 3 times game.
So why not take that $95 million you're getting paid and get him there?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but the problem is I don't know if you can get a true freshman quarterback in Jimbo's freaking 1998 offensive system ready to go.
Yeah.
Well, you got to figure out a way to do it because you're freaking losing games with Haynes King. There's no way this guy's worse than Haynes King.
Or simplify your system a bit for him.
Yeah.
Right.
Simplify. Figure out a way.
But Haynes King provides an excuse.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Excuse.
And you don't want to destroy his confidence.
Because that is the real thing that Jimbo needs right now. An excuse.
Jimbo's one big excuse. Sorry, excuse. That's the biggest. I know. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I hate that. I really you're gonna. Come on, man. I don't like that at all. Simplify your offense. Just say, okay, it is what it is. We're going with this dude. He's talented. Freshmen can play in college football nowadays. I don't know if he saw this guy named Bryce Young.
Yeah, but his systems in 1998 is the same time Peyton Manning came up in David Cutcliffe's offense.
I don't care. You figure out a way if you're worth $95 million. You figure it the hell out.
The question said, John says Texas A&M is going to hire a modern offensive coordinator this offseason. What if Jimbo says no? You still don't have $90 million to pay him.
He ain't gonna do that.
So he's guaranteed that money.
He ain't gonna do that. It's pride, man. It's ego.
Yeah.
He's not going. He's not
It's
going to relinquish
ego.
that. He's an
Absolutely.
egomaniac.
Yeah.
There's no way. No way. Not a chance. Not a chance he does that. And no one has the stones to tell him to do it.
And no, because he's worth $100 million. Even the boosters can't come up and tell him what to do. He's making more money.
What was Facebook user's name? You said
Wes.
Wes did mention something earlier, and it's disappeared now off there. But I just wanted to bring it up real quick before we go to the next games. He was asking about Tennessee's NCAA violations and if that was going to be an impact at all. And it did seem like I just read that they extended one of the deadlines, but the advantage to them extending that one was now it's unlikely they're going to make any decisions before the end of this season. So Tennessee still should be good this season, but who knows what they'll do in the future. I mean, I don't know. I think he was saying he didn't think they would even sanction Tennessee at all, which is possible. I have no idea. But
I mean, you can't at this point. I mean,
but
stupid.
Yeah, I was gonna say you'll be 3 years removed by the time they get around to it.
It wouldn't. You're punishing kids who weren't even involved, so it's not.
That's the NCAA way, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Before this one goes away, for John, he says, I don't think the question of him being worse than King, but rather fear of messing up his confidence. It's kind of the same thing.
Right.
The season's shot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what pressure is there at this point for that kid? There was zero pressure. You bring in a true freshman quarterback, there's zero pressure on him right now.
Yeah, but there's pressure at A&M regardless right now because they were supposed to compete for the playoff this year.
On Jimbo, not the kid.
But Jimbo's nervous energy is kind of like whenever you're nervous and you have a dog and that dog can sense you're nervous. What's going on? Whenever they pile on Jimbo and put him in the vice, the players are going to know that, and they're going to start smoking weed in the locker room and recruiting people to transfer with them. I think their punter transferred. I mean, it's a mess between A&M and Auburn right now. There's stuff happening. There's stuff going on, and
this is the time to see what you have in the kid.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
And you would hope he'd be more emotionally stable than this, but you also got to remember he's probably an 18-year-old kid who's never lost a football game. He's probably really good. If you suddenly throw him into these games and he starts getting just murdered, it might destroy his confidence. I see where he's coming with that. Like I said, you would hope the kid is a little more stable than that, but some people aren't. Maybe he sees it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
People don't realize A&M has a weird history. They're worried about young quarterbacks. They had Kyle Allen. They ruined him. He transferred. They had Kyler Murray. Ruined him. He went to Oklahoma and got his groove back. And, they had Kellen Mond that was a decent quarterback. They had problems since Johnny Manziel has been a problem for A&M.
Yeah. I mean, Kellen Mond wasn't bad. I mean, that was
Kellen Mond he's still kicking around in the league.
Right.
Oh, right. What
he's
are you
pretty
doing
damn
here?
good, actually.
Oh, you got a kitty.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Sally.
Where that came from? Let's just sit you down.
Meow, what is going on here?
I told you the cat's been weird today. Won't
Meow.
leave the room. I don't know why.
All right. Are we ready for Meow? Are we ready for picks?
Oh, is it
Picks. Picks. Welcome back to the Picks segment. Just want to let you guys know you are listening to SEC After Dark. The four homers, Stephen Willis, Jeb Beecham, Jake Thomas, and, of course, me, Corey Burton, the voice of God, Becky Willis, and our social media producer, manager, whatever you want to call it, director, is sitting right back over Jake's right shoulder
with
in
the
a
Hello
very
Kitty headphones.
with the kitten headphones and a very good looking hat. So let's get into it. So Becky,
why's Jeb looking back?
I don't know.
I can't see her, but well, anyway.
Jeb, are the guards coming?
Yeah, the guards. Is it shower time?
Now he's excited.
It is shower time.
Oh.
All right, Steve, you're going first this week. All right. Steve, you're up first. So we got Arkansas traveling to the Plains to take on the Auburn Tigers. Arkansas is favored by 3.5 points, according to Bet Online. Steve, how do you see it, man?
This is a game where I think Auburn is going to play pretty well. We haven't seen Auburn Jesus pop up very much this season. He's due to get somebody, but I don't think it's going to be Arkansas. I'll take Arkansas on 3.5 points.
Jake.
Yeah, I almost went with Auburn in this game just because it's at home. They're coming off a bye week. That gives Robbie Ashford another week to hone his skills and everything. But I just think talent-wise, I think Arkansas is a better team. KJ Jefferson's a better quarterback, and I think he makes a couple plays late. And they score a touchdown late to seal the deal. So I'm taking Arkansas.
Yeah, I think this is a get-well game for Arkansas. I mean, part of me wanted to pick Auburn because it's at home, and Auburn just does weird things at home. But also Auburn has, it seems like every time they have a big game against Arkansas, they lose it. KJ Jefferson is a special guy. They seem to have gotten a little bit of groove back. I'm not sure that they're back to their top 10 ranking that they had earlier this season. But they are playing better. And it seemed like the BYU game was the medicine that they needed. I think they get a big win here in a big way. So give me Arkansas and the 3.5 points. Jeb.
Yeah, I think both these defenses have been kind of rough, so I expect both of them to score a bit. But I like KJ Jefferson; he's back. I think he's going to lead Arkansas to a not really a blowout, but definitely a higher scoring than Auburn. So because Robbie Ashford, he's okay, but he's not KJ Jefferson. So I'm taking Arkansas.
All right, Becky.
All right. Well, as this is the games leading up to Halloween, we're going to use each state's preferences for Halloween candy to help me make my picks.
All right.
So,
Okay.
yeah, Arkansas overall, they go for Butterfingers, and Auburn, Alabama, goes for Skittles. I like Skittles a lot more than I like Butterfingers, so we're going to actually pick Auburn this time.
Okay, Skittles over Butterfingers. I cannot hate that pick.
I don't know. The Skittles thing just makes me think.
Can
of
they
a
die in
Bruno
a tie?
quote. Never mind. Let's not go there.
Taste the rainbow.
We're at the gayest state in the union. No. Okay. Go ahead.
Alabama.
Roll Tide.
I ain't gay, so come look for me. Such a great sketch. I love that.
By the way, if you're in the chat, participate in the pick'em as well.
Yeah, so you have to keep your own record, though, unfortunately. Yeah. All right, our next game, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Steve, Georgia's favored by 22.5. One of the biggest spreads in this matchup that I remember in recent history, on Georgia's side at least. I know Florida's probably been favored by that much at certain points, especially during the Spurrier days. But can Georgia cover? Are they going to win big, or are they going to fall back to the pack a little bit in anticipation for Tennessee?
I have a theory. I think Kirby is going to try and run it up on Billy Napier a little bit, even though he knows Billy and everything. Florida's got problems.
Kirby hates Florida, by the way.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
But he also wants this game to be a non-factor and a blowout to where he can get it back to home and home, because Kirby wants this game in Athens in the future. And whenever this contract is up, they're going to determine what they're going to do with it. And they mentioned possibly home in Georgia, home in Florida, and then a neutral site in Jacksonville. They're thinking all different stuff.
I like that
for this game. So I think Georgia is going to pour it on Florida because Kirby wants this game gone out of Jacksonville, and he wants to play some games in Athens because he sees what that can do for recruiting. He knows what this game is, and he's missing some opportunity to recruit. So Florida's going to win this game, or not win this game. They're going to not cover. Georgia's going to – this could be a 45-7 type game.
Jake.
Well, Florida has took Tennessee to the wire and took LSU to the wire. And, I mean, if they could have put together a better game plan in the fourth quarter, you probably see a loss. It probably, a win against LSU there. They probably still would have lost to Tennessee. But I think they play closer.
They're 10 pass away from losing to Utah, so.
Well, they are, but I mean, but up in big games, they play well, and it is a neutral site game, so it's still pretty much a home game for Florida though. But I'm taking Florida to cover 22.5, real big spread. So I think it'll be like a 17-point game Georgia wins, but I think they're going to cover. Florida will cover.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take Georgia. I think Stetson is dialed in. I think they're going to have a huge day offensively, and I think Florida's going to struggle to score because if you guys remember, Anthony Richardson in this game, he came in for Emory Jones and had an absolute disaster of a game through a pick six to Nakobe Dean. I think Georgia scored 24 points in 2 minutes thanks to a couple turnovers. And a lot of that was due to the fearful nature of Anthony Richardson in that game. I don't know if he has PTSD from this, but it's going to be a rough Saturday for Florida. Georgia's just dialed in at this point, and I think they're going to win big. Jeb.
Yeah, this was the only really tough one for me this week because I don't like that big spread. But honestly, I don't think Florida, as well as they have played at times this year, I don't think they've run into a defense like Georgia's yet. And I know their offense can score in spurts, but I feel like Georgia's offense is going to be much better because Florida's been giving up a lot of points. So Georgia's going to score a lot. I think they're going to stop Florida from scoring very much. And can they hit 3 touchdown lead? Yeah, I think they can. I'm taking Georgia.
Becky.
Nope. This is going to be Georgia's come to Jesus week. Florida's coming in hot with Reese's peanut butter cups. Classic. Everybody likes those.
That's good.
So what's Georgia's preferred Halloween candy? Yeah, Swedish fish. I can't even say it. How pretentious and bougie can a state be? Swedish fish.
Thanks, Georgia.
Get
Tech.
over yourself.
That's Georgia Tech's fault.
Absolutely nasty.
You're taking the fall for all of them. This one's Florida's week.
I feel like that's Savannah.
Very well could be. Savannah's like little Charleston, just bougie. All right, so thanks, Becky. Georgia's got up their candy game. All right, so our next matchup, Missouri travels to Columbia to take on the newly ranked South Carolina Gamecocks. South Carolina is 3.5-point favorites at home. Steve, can they keep this thing rolling?
I think they can. This game is South Carolina's favored by 3.5 points, which basically makes it a money line type pick. Do you think South Carolina's going to win the game? They're at home. I really like Marshawn Lloyd and some of their athletes they have on the outside. If they can avoid Spencer Rattler making the disaster plays, they have a chance to be okay because they play hard for that guy. I mean, that's one thing you can say about Shane Beamer. They play hard for him. And I'm going to go with Carolina or USC as they came out with today. There's no way they're going to get sued for that.
Not a chance. All right, Jake.
Yeah. As the only one who took South Carolina last week, I am high on South Carolina.
You're taking Missouri?
Shoot, no.
No.
I mean, Missouri only scored 17 against Vandy. So, I mean, and South Carolina is a much better team than Vandy. And Shane Beamer is changing the culture up there. He's probably another year or two off, but I do like South Carolina here to cover and pretty much win by 14 points.
All right. Yeah, I'm agree with you here. I think I'm starting to kind of believe in South Carolina a little bit more. I think they, after the Georgia game, they licked their wounds a little bit, and then they had to get right. And that took going up to Lexington and upsetting Kentucky to do so. But I think they've had some mojo ever since. And Shane Beamer is just pulling every ounce of talent out of this group, which is not an overly talented group as a whole. But they make a lot of good plays. They play hard. They get themselves in good positions. They're well coached, which I think is going to be the difference here. Missouri should have lost last week to Vandy. They didn't. Woulda, coulda, shouldas. I could woulda, coulda, shoulda all day, but they still got the victory over Vandy. I don't think they're going to be so fortunate this week. I think South Carolina wins, and I think they win kind of big.
Mm-hmm. Good night, Stacey.
Yeah, that first about 5 minutes of the South Carolina Texas A&M was pretty exciting. I was sitting in a restaurant actually, and they just started scoring just over and over. It was crazy. It slowed down a bit later on, so but I don't know. Missouri, their defense is actually pretty solid, which is the only nice thing I can really say about Missouri because their offense is terrible. So I don't think there's any way they're going to score enough to win a game against South Carolina. And South Carolina, I don't think it's going to be great. I think they'll make some mistakes on offense, but they'll score kind of like they did this last week, I think, and just in bunches, and they'll score enough to cover that spread easy. That's it. South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Man,
All right, Becky, take it away.
Y'all are a bunch of Butterfinger fans, I see. Ain't nothing wrong with a good old Butterfinger, but when it's paired up versus a Milky Way, Milky Way's
better
gonna
not
take
lay a
it
finger
all
on my
day every day. Yeah, those Butterfingers are going to cost them. Missouri's taking this one.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good. All right, so there we go. But so we know Becky likes Milky Ways over Butterfinger, but she prefers Reese's peanut butter cups
Over Swedish fish.
over Swedish fish. Now Huck loves Swedish fish, so just so you know, he may have contributed to that. All right, the next game, which for a lot of people that aren't true Tennessee fans, this game is very, very scary. Kentucky comes into Knoxville 12.5-point favorites, but like Florida, they're going to have to figure out a way to score in bunches, or score touchdowns where they would normally kick field goals and try to score way more touchdowns than they do field goals to try to keep up. They're going to have to try to keep up with Tennessee. Steve, can Kentucky do it? Or is Tennessee going to blow them out?
Earmuffs, Jed. Kentucky is going to cover in this one. This is a game. I've seen this Kentucky game plan, and they're going to do the same thing they did to Ole Miss, and they're going to play so slow. Incredible. Whenever you normally get 15 possessions in a college football game, when you play Kentucky, you get 9. So there's not as much opportunity for Tennessee to make separation happen. There could be 7-minute drives, 8-minute drives, and they could put that defense out on an island. I think Tennessee's going to win the game. I just think they're going to win it by a score. I don't think they're going to get to 12.5 points.
Okay, Jake.
It's all right, Jeb. I got you. Tennessee is on a different level right now, and for some reason, I may be wrong on this, and if I am, then so be it. But I mean, Will Levis, they got him as the top 5, quarterback in NFL rankings right now. I just don't see it. I mean, he's good, but top 5, he struggled, and he struggled a lot his 2 years there at Kentucky. And Tennessee is about to absolutely lay the hammer on him in this game. So I think Tennessee wins by 21 plus.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm with Jake here. I think Tennessee's just going to overwhelm them. You know, it's just kind of what they do in general. And I think with this matchup, it's one of those rivalries that it's heated, but it's not. And Tennessee has a lot of confidence coming into this game every year, and the series record proves that. But I think it's going to be another big weekend for Hendon Hooker, for Jalen Hyatt. I just don't think Kentucky is going to be able to stop that aerial attack, and I think Kentucky's going to have a hard time keeping up with Tennessee. So, give me the Vols, Jeb.
There is a real danger of what Steve said being absolutely true, because I know that's going to be Kentucky's game plan to try and slow everything way down and just bore Tennessee into a sleeping pattern. But Tennessee, while their defense has not been good, they have, oddly enough, been very good at taking the ball away. And I think not only will they score every one of their drives, they're going to take that ball away a couple times and just be able to pull away a tad so that they end up covering that spread. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. They're not going to beat them, 52-10 or anything like that. But I'm definitely taking Tennessee to cover that spread.
Becky,
let's hear about our candy.
I don't think I've ever actually told anybody this, so I need to confess something. Born and raised in Tennessee. Do you know why I was in boot camp 2.5 weeks after I graduated high school?
Because you listened to the Dolly Parton version of Rocky Top?
Oh, that hadn't even happened? No. The real thing that ran me out of Tennessee is these folks choose Tootsie Pops as their Halloween candy of choice. Tootsie Pops.
Really?
The only thing that those could beat are Swedish fish. What are you doing, Tennessee? What are you doing? Kentucky rarely does anything right. Let's just face some facts here. Maybe bourbon. But they do their Reese's peanut butter cups. So I'm picking Kentucky for this game.
Those are always going to win. I get it.
Hey, we got a question for Becky in the chat. Does she eat candy corn?
Okay. Yes, I like candy corn. I'm gonna stand by that. I don't like Tootsie Pops, but I do like candy corn.
So Becky, do you a follow-up question to that from Wes? I do Reese's Pieces, candy corn, and peanuts in a little like trail mix. Do you like Reese's Pieces?
I feel confused and turned on right now. I'm not sure what's happening, but I'm going to try this very soon. So I've never done that. Never done that. And I was a sailor. Oh my
Steve
Lord.
is turning 3 shades of red right now.
Yeah, Bon Jovi's "It's My Life" is just going through my head.
It's my life. It's
Well,
now or never.
Before we move on, I want to respond to John real quick, too. Tennessee should not get rid of those uniforms because those orange and black uniforms are fire. Those things are awesome.
They are.
Mode, yeah.
Yeah.
You
that's
can
awesome.
only bring them out on Halloween. I get it, but they're great.
Dark mode.
I can't wait to see it.
All right, our last game.
And real quick, talking about the Tennessee Kentucky game, didn't Tennessee only have like 8 minutes of possession last year and still won the game?
14 minutes.
yeah.
One of my favorite things. Kentucky had
held
the
the
ball
ball
for
for
46,
They held the ball for 45 seconds.
but
Yeah,
they won
so-
by 10. They did not win by 12 and a half.
Oh, there we go.
It's
Sorry,
different this year.
I froze up there a bit.
Yeah, it's different this
see.
year.
I see. All
the
right.
picks, by the way, the picks record updated down below. We took the scroll off so everybody can see.
Yeah, you can stop pointing that out.
Yeah. Notice Becky, by the way. Notice Becky.
What does that mean that I
would
have
say-
46 and Corey has 45 and Jake has 45 and Jeb has 42? What does that mean?
I think it means you're copying off Steve.
You about to die, son.
Sorry.
I know the keys to get in your house.
I think it
boyfriend.
means you picked LSU last week, honestly, which is
well,
a
that's
conversation that we have to have.
That's true.
Correctly picked LSU.
Although,
Yeah.
I do want to point out, looking at our picks this week, Becky, one of us is going to have a great week and one of us is going to have a bad one. So, because we are exact opposite in every pick almost.
You got to trust the process.
So I'm either catching up to you or I'm getting so far behind there's no point in trying.
Ooh, Becky just processed you. Okay, we got 2 more games.
Oh, your special game. Becky didn't guess that one.
Uh-oh.
Not yet, at least, right?
Oh,
Okay,
God.
so yeah,
Good.
Oh,
you knew I'd pick
Why-
the
why
I'd pick
would
the
you
fun one.
Do that.
All right.
It's like watching a snuff film.
I just like to see the world burn. All right, our last SEC game, Ole Miss travels to Kyle Field, minus 2.5 points, 2.5 point favorites over the Aggies and Jimbo Fisher. Steve, does Ole Miss win and get the cover?
Yeah, I think Ole Miss covers. Ole Miss is only favored by 2.5, so it's basically a money line grab. So, do you think Ole Miss is going to win the game? Yeah, I think they are. Devin A. Chain, he's probably going to get 25 touches, but Haynes King has to get the rest, and they're going to have to throw the ball. Just like I said before, Ole Miss has Quinshon Judkins, Zach Evans. That's 50 snaps against a weak running game versus 25. I'll take that all day. This game has a chance to get a little bit sideways on A&M, I think. But for the time being, I will say Ole Miss will cover the 2.5 point line spread.
Jake?
Yeah, coming off a loss, I feel like Ole Miss is about to be mad, and they're supposed to take it out on Texas 4-8. So it's about to get bad, and the shots are already coming. So I mean, everything's still in front of you, Michael. I know you're down right now, but if you win out, if you beat Alabama, and you win out, you're in. So there's still a lot to play for. So don't give up on your land sharks yet.
Black Bears.
Yeah, Black Bears. Yeah.
Well,
Or
Rebel Bears? I don't know.
Rebel Bears.
Rebel Sharks. They're the Rebel Sharks.
It's the Rebel Bear Sharks. Thank you.
They're the Rebel Bear Sharks with laser beams attached to their freaking heads.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. Texas 4-8 ain't got a chance.
All right, so I know you will never believe that I'm reading the UGA message boards right now. I know it's hard to. I know it's tough to fathom, right?
Homer.
Coming from
Homer.
such a impartial host.
Yeah.
But one of the funniest. This has got to be the funniest nickname for Texas A&M. They called him Texas Ace and Gary.
That's good.
Nice.
Ole Miss is they're gonna obliterate the spread here. I think Ole Miss is gonna win big. Lane Kiffin threw down the gauntlet because he knows he could smack Jimbo Fisher in the face over and over and over again. I think Ole Miss is gonna have a huge game at Kyle Field, and they're gonna clear that place out early in the third quarter. Give me Ole Miss big. Jeb?
I know we were joking about Texas A&M's record. I didn't actually think they'd be this bad, but to get into a bowl game, they're going to have to beat two of Ole Miss, Florida, LSU, or who's the other one? Auburn. Probably beat Auburn. I don't think they're going to win any of the others, and definitely not this week. Ole Miss has got a decent defense. They've got the best running attack in the SEC. Yeah, no, Ole Miss is going to cover this one.
Becky.
All right, so Texas A&M coming in strong with Starburst. I think you're a psychopath if you don't like Starburst.
No, those are good.
But Mississippi's showing up with three Musketeers. Now, how you going to go against Athos, Porthos, and Aramis? You know what I'm saying? I'm 100% taking three Musketeers. They're going to stop the war, baby.
Becky, do not do literary things on this show. We do not stand for that.
D'Artagnan.
We came here to lead, not to read.
I think that was a Disney movie. That's fine.
That's right.
It was a movie that starred Steve, what's his name? Steve Martin.
Steve Martin,
couldn't
yeah.
think of it. Three Amigos.
That's a great one, yes.
Yeah. I ruined that joke because I couldn't pronounce his name.
Good job,
Chevy
Corey.
Chase. You meant Chevy Chase.
My brain short-circuited there. All right, our last game, our bonus selection.
You're a
This is
psychopath for
awful.
this.
Yeah,
You're a
this is
psychopath for this.
This is
The ultimate paint dry game. Somehow, I wanted to pick this game because this is the most ridiculous spread I've ever seen. Iowa is favored by 11 in this game. How they're favored by double digits over even Iowa City High School is beyond me. But Steve, can Iowa win and cover against Northwestern?
They have to, right? I mean, Northwestern's fairly awful. I mean, the over-under of this game opened up at 32 points. Picture that. That's like a 1993 line. Like Georgia and Auburn just lining up in the I formation and beating the hell out of each other. That's one of those lines. And you sit there, I was favored by 11.
Oh, that is good. Who said that, John?
I just don't think Northwestern can score. And so the question is, can Iowa score 2 touchdowns? And the honest question is, I have no freaking idea.
Their defense will have to score those 2 touchdowns.
Iowa's a situation. Didn't they beat a 1AA team like 7-3?
They beat South Dakota State
7-3, and they had 2 safeties and a field goal. It wasn't even a touchdown. It was 2 safeties and a field goal. But I'm going to go with Iowa. This is evil, Corey. You picking this game.
I love it. I love it, Jake. What do you got?
I'm taking Northwestern. I don't know anything about either one of these teams except Iowa cannot score on offense. I did watch Northwestern over in Dublin play Nebraska the first game of the year. But since then, I think they've fallen off the rails. But, I mean, honestly, Northwestern only has to kick 4 field goals and cover this spread. I mean, honestly. And that is very doable because offensively, Iowa cannot put the ball in the end zone. I mean, it's terrible. So I'm taking Northwestern by 12-0.
All Northwestern has to do is kick 2 field goals, let's be honest. This Iowa team is probably they are statistically the worst offense in Division I football. They're 131st out of 131 teams in scoring offense and most all offensive categories. So the absolute putridness of this offense leads me to believe that Northwestern is going to win big. And when I say win big, they're going to win 9-3.
Then they don't cover. But you have them to cover.
Northwestern's getting points. Did I say Iowa? I meant Northwestern.
No, you got Northwestern.
Yeah,
you got but 11, Corey. They're not going to. I mean, that's still 9-3.
They're getting 11.
Oh,
yeah.
Northwestern
Iowa has to score more than
Iowa has to score more. So all Northwestern has to do is win the game. Northwestern is not favored.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I think it was Northwestern's favorite. My bad.
No, Iowa's favored, which is makes this even more ridiculous.
This is why it's stupid.
I love it.
Wait.
Before we get to Becky and her candy pick, there's a Facebook user before we get out of here who said, real question though, can we how long can Liberty hang on to Freeze? Is he gone after this year? Thank you for doing the show and giving me a voice.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, seriously, thank you very much. And Hugh Freeze is gone. I don't think there's any way that Hugh Freeze stays after this year.
Unfortunately, because he's a match made for Liberty. Because they're
but I think he's going. I think his ego is going to pull him out of Liberty.
Yeah, they're just a covered rape charges match made in heaven. All right, so that person was at Baylor. All right, Jeb, not a good look.
Northwestern Iowa. I don't have much to add to that one. I am not confident Iowa can score 11 points in this game. So, and like I said, Northwestern just has to kick a couple field goals, and there's no way Iowa's covering that. So, I'm taking Northwestern, but who knows?
Becky, let's see. This is why it's fun.
All right. So the fine folks of Iowa prefer their M&Ms on Halloween. It's fine. It's safe. It's boring. But the folks at Northwestern in Illinois prefer their Sour Patch Kids. Those have a bite. Those have a punch. They're going to punch up, and they're going to actually win the game, not just cover. They're going to win.
Northwestern wins the candy battle for everybody. Sour Patch Kids for the win.
Agreed.
Becky with the straight up pick. One of those wrong team favored picks.
Northwestern by
Jake, what is going on behind you?
The puppy, she's got some ear problems, and she was scratching her ear, and she yelped. I don't know if y'all heard that. She did apologize, but she's getting lovins now.
I was wondering what that was. I thought maybe Jeb's roommate or cellmate over there was having some issues, but the people in the holding cell wouldn't quiet down.
Yeah. For Corey and Jake, and inmate number 337459.
Jeb, at least Jeb is getting released this week. So
that's right.
Jeb, I think you're setting bail, so so this is exciting.
Next week, whenever the playoff rankings come out, we need to start, along with our picks, we need to do a pick segment of the SEC bowl games as well.
So predict the bowl games?
Yeah, like, Georgia in the Peach Bowl,
Oh, okay.
Tennessee in the Sugar Bowl, stuff like that.
Fiesta
as the playoff rankings go.
There's a battle for that Birmingham Bowl spot, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah, Texas A&M's going to fight for it.
No,
they're here to play.
Hey,
Texas 5-7.
I don't think they're going to be bowl eligible.
No, I don't think they are either. But hey, South Carolina's fighting for the Duke Mayo Bowl again. So,
but Texas A&M won't be eligible, but they'll get in.
Yeah, Shane Beamer's like, please let me get it. That is so nasty.
Oh, so gross.
that was gross.
That is the worst. Just Mayo just grosses me out. But anyway, so it's 10:00. We've done our picks. So we are SEC After Dark. We thank you for being with us in the chat. Some of you new Facebook users, please stick around because we do this
every Wednesday.
Yeah, every Wednesday we're here.
Follow us on Twitter now. Follow us on Twitter.
SEC After Dark on Twitter.
SEC _after_dark.
Yep.
That's right. And you can follow all of us at Stolen Grin, at the Stephen Willis, at Coach Burton 36, and at Jake Thomas TTS. All right. You can follow at Bleav In Dawgs, at Locked On Ole Miss, at Tide Talk Live. And you can also I think that covered that, right?
Yeah.
I think I got all of them in there. At Troopstar28 while we're at it. That's my co-host. At
Homer.
What's Stacey's? Homer. What's Stacey's? He was in the chat.
Blackwood 89.
Blackwood 89. At Becky Willis. You can follow her. At Cassidy Thomas if you want.
Yeah.
throwing everybody out there.
And Jeb is still a dude.
Yeah, he's still
Jeb-
just a guy.
Jeb is still just a guy. John, you can
He's
throw
not-
yours out there.
He's not even a homer. He's like a Flanders.
Pete. No, he's
I did.
he's Mr. Wilson from Home Improvement.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Heidi ho, neighbor.
yeah.
So
All right.
we are SEC After Dark, presented by BetOnline.ag. We thank you for listening. We thank you for watching here on the Bleav Network and Y'all's Conference Network. We hope to see you back here next week, and we'll see how our picks do. Good night, and go Dogs.
Roll Tide.
Oh,
Hotty toddy.
Gosh almighty.
Who the hell are we? Hey, oh.
On Northwestern.
Oh, can't believe you picked Iowa.
You picked.
Iowa. I picked Northwestern.
No, there's just
Yeah,
a game
I
that
can't believe you
Iowa's
picked that
playing
game.
in. That's like the anti-football game.
That
That was
the
the most